In a classroom in the far back corner of DreamHouse Ewa Beach, learning is at the forefront of Coach Cerina Livaudais' computer science class. In May, Livaudais was named the Hawaii Charter School Teacher of the Year. She called the award a humbling experience, but it's the skills her students are gaining in the classroom that's the biggest reward.
My job is not to convince all of my students to become computer scientists. My job is to make sure that all of my students have access to learning computer science so that they can make the choice when the day comes and they have to choose what they're going to do professionally. I want them to have that at least as an option. But right now, because not all students have access to computer science, those students don't even have a shot. Those students will never even consider becoming the next world's engineers and coders and app developers and software engineers.
When it comes to inspiring Livaudais' students, there's no firewall blocking her message.
It's because the way that she makes it like it's enjoyable so we can actually do what she's doing now and study it. So I'm kind of thinking of doing the same thing because she makes it so fun to do.
To be honest, I think that it'll help me be organized and try my best to focus because when you're coding a game, it's not always as easy as it seems.
I do like coding, and I think it's like very fun.
It makes me want to do better in the classroom because I know that there's going to be like a really fun activity and there's just a fun teacher to be around.
In 2021, Livaudais created and launched DreamHouse's 8th grade computer science program. A year later, students in that same program became nationally recognized winners of the Congressional App Challenge. Their winning app, Nani, is a dress-up game that encourages young children to connect with Hawaiian culture. It's through team activities like these that Livaudais finds the most value.
Best learning must happen communally, and so that's why I always try to give my students opportunities to collaborate. I'm really reflective on how much I'm speaking versus how much my students are being able to share their voice. And also connecting the learning that we're doing back to their ancestors. I tell my students when they enter my space, they're not just representing themselves and they're not representing DreamHouse, they're also representing their families and all the ancestors that came before them who bestowed on them such amazing knowledge that they can use in this classroom every single day.
Each year, the Department of Education recognizes one outstanding teacher from each of its 15 complex areas. Livaudais captured the state's only Charter School Teacher of the Year award. On October 17th, the honorees gathered at Washington Place for an awards ceremony hosted by Governor David Ige. Of the group, one teacher was chosen as the 2023 Hawaii Teacher of the Year and became our state's candidate for the National Teacher of the Year. And though Livaudais didn't walk away with that title, she already gets an A in her students' books.
Cerina won Teacher of the Year. Does she deserve it?
Definitely.